Next on the agenda is the comments, at which time I'd like to say a few things. First, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you all had a great Christmas and a great New Year. We closed on the South Center Street lot on December 17th and netted $48,122 to the town. Our 2025 board and staff planning retreat is scheduled for Monday, February 17th from 6 to 9 p.m. Dinner will be served from 5 to 6. Town offices will be closed Monday, January 20th in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. T.A. King has worked on the downtown incentive grants, and we will have an update at the February planning retreat. I would also like to remind the downtown businesses of the current Duke Energy grant that expires January 31st. All downtown businesses are strongly encouraged to apply for this free money. As of today, we have 7 applications that have been submitted. The Town Planning Board and the Town Board of Adjustments has been presented a resignation from Ashley Boyette from the said boards as of December 3rd, 2024. I'd like to officially welcome Ashley Boyette onto the Town Board of Commissioners. Ashley has met with Commissioner Rose and has been called up to speed on many of the town projects. And with that, would any of the other commissioners like to say something?
I'd like to say welcome aboard.
Thanks, y'all. I'm excited to be here, and yes, I learned a lot from Mike Rose, Commissioner Rose. I'm not sure if that's still what you call him, but I know I have a lot more to learn, and I'm excited to learn from y'all and hoping to serve the community well.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Anyone else? All right. Next on the agenda is public comments. Public comments is time any citizen can address the board on an item that is not on the agenda. Speakers are asked to keep in the order and balance that all public comments will be kept to 3 minutes. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address. Speakers shall at all times maintain proper decorum and present all comments in a civil manner. Just a reminder, about 3 minutes. Would anyone like to speak?
Good evening. I'm Joy Woodard, and I am I live 2551 Rains Mill Road, Princeton. But I am also a member of the PALS, Princeton Area Library Supporters Group, and so hoping I would like to take a minute of your time. Thank you for the opportunity in November to present a plan for the library part. We appreciate y'all giving us that opportunity. If you want to give them, I didn't know if you all would bring your copy tonight of what we actually did, so I brought another copy. We don't feel like we created anything elaborate. It was just the essential needs. We really need 1,700 square feet, not 1,200, 1,250. I want to take a minute and kind of walk you through our plan and explain. We felt like if we could get a minute and explain why we need this, that maybe that would help with 1,700 and not 1,200. So the plan is really, you see double doors on the bottom where it says 16 feet. We took it upon ourselves just to throw out some ideas that the middle between the community building and our side would be more serviceable if it had the bathrooms and the kitchen so both could share in the plumbing. But really, we're here to say come through the double doors and take a left. And that is what we presented to you all and what we need. You will see on the right a circulation desk, and then you will see, if you walk straight back, it's a children's area with bookshelves, kind of getting them in that little area with children up seating. And then around that is more bookcase with juvenile or young adult with tables for games and activities. And then the far back is adult reading area with 3 adult bookshelves. Now, we have those bookshelves, we measured them, we did our layout. This was a big scale, as you saw. It was on my drafting board, but it was big. And we did the ADA requirements requiring the 3 feet to go around. This whole plan has the ADA requirements. There was a back door, because you're always going to need that exit. And then in the middle, we thought maybe we could have a little storage area, and then there was a staff handicap bathroom with a changing table, and then come on down, and we are certified for a free little library, and then you're back to the circulation desk and back out. And in the center of the whole room was our computer center, because one thing that I've realized is sometimes you need to have your eyes on those computers to see what people are doing. Are they doing legit kind of stuff? So, you know, we moved that to the center. And then the middle section, like I said, was just a thought of maybe the community that we could share the middle section. But when you look at this plan, we don't have any extra walls. We have most of these bookshelves. I think we have all the most of the bookshelves.
Yeah, that's everything we currently.
Everything we currently have. We currently have 1,250 feet. So, I mean, in order to be ADA and all these requirements, we need 1,700 feet. So we appreciate talking with Mayor Johnson and Mr. King in December when they called us in. But we really believe that 1,250 square feet is not enough. Because we were to include a bathroom and a closet in that. And so from this point, you know, that's kind of, you know, why we felt like we had to have that space. So at this point, Hope's going to address our other
I'm
needs.
Hope Doherty. My address is 3534 Stevens Chapel Road, but we worship in Princeton. I buy groceries in Princeton. I volunteer in Princeton. The 1,700 square feet, based on Mayor Johnson's $260 per square feet, which is what he gave us, the building, it comes to $442,000. Yes, we understand that, but we are saying tonight that we are able to pay for our side, for our part of this new building. And I want to make sure this gets into the meetings with no increase in taxes for the Princeton community. This is all privately raised money, and we're committed to this. Right now, as of right now, we've raised over 90% of the money that we need for 1,700 square feet. That's more than what I said in the December meeting, because we've raised more. And we are confident that with the other pledges that we have coming in, that people have promised us, and the other fundraisers that we've planned, that we will finish this campaign of the $442,000 needed. We want to be good stewards of our donors' money. Spending their money on a smaller building than what we have now won't honor their expectations for what the library does and what we need. It's important to justify the investment of our patrons for a library that will meet the needs, the growing needs. Princeton's growing, and so is our library.
I've got a question. So, if you were anticipating that it will take you how much more time to complete your?
I think we can do it this year coming up.
Oh, yeah.
It's.
Oh, yeah.
We are confident. I would not be up here. I don't speak like that.
Me neither.
Right.
I would not be up here if we were not confident.
And you're currently at 90%.
Yes.
Yes, a little over 90, in fact.
We'll discuss next month, like I say, it's on the agenda for next month.
And I said the library's growing, and I wanted to say, Ame has said before in here that we tripled the numbers in 1 year.
We've done over that.
By December, I was going to say, by December 18th, you told me on December 18th, we just tripled the numbers tonight, and then you had several other things before the end of the year. So we have more than tripled the amount of people that the library is serving, and that is another reason that we just think that we know the 1,200 square feet won't meet the needs of the people who are coming through the doors.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is annexation, and at this time, I'm gonna hand that over to April.
On the first annexation, we adopted a resolution to investigate for the parcel that Dickie Brazel owns. In the investigation, I found that that particular parcel is one of 5 in a subdivision. And per the general statute 168-58.1B, you are not able to annex one subdivision. You have to annex the entire subdivision. So at this time, the petition is denied due to the general statute. The next petition that I have is for 398 Holtz Pond Road. It is for 54.8 acres. And all we need to do is to adopt the resolution to investigate the petition. I received the petition. That is just past that elementary school.
Oliver Track.
Yeah, the track line is
Left of the
54
elementary.
point, and that would be for the entire acreage.
That is just past,
The elementary school.
okay.
Heading towards,
Lakeview.
Left of the elementary, right of Lakeview.
okay,
Backs up to Lakeview.
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so we have an annexation request for parcel 04P10047. I need a motion
Got a quick
to,
question though.
okay?
This first, 7A that we were talking about. So that's the one that's sitting right on the other side of the water? Okay.
Yes.
And that's a part of that subdivision?
No, sir. That is a separate subdivision. It is a 5-lot subdivision on the opposite side of the pond. It has nothing to do with Lake.
That's what I'm saying, that little, it's a strip.
Right,
So
there's like
that's-
there's
yeah.
5 lots on that same side of the road right there together.
Now, do we know if they would like to be annexed?
From what I understand, they would not.
Okay.
Only the 2 lots that Dickie Braswell own are interested in being subdivision, annexed. The other 3 are not interested.
Okay.
So now, if they were interested, would that change the circumstance, or would we still be bound by the general statute?
You would not. If they all agreed, we would have to have an ordinance signed that they all agreed to be annexed. And upon signing and holding a public hearing, we could go forward.
Okay.
But you have 3 that do not want to be annexed, and just the one owner that does.
Okay.
Okay. And that one owner owns the 2
Both
lots?
lots, both the lots that
Okay.
for petition, yeah, yes.
Any more questions on 7A? All right, on 7B, any questions or discussion on that?
No, I'll actually offer you a motion to have the clerk do the investigation on 398 Holtz Pond Road, parcel number 04 P-Paul 10047.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0. Next on the agenda is the capital project ordinance for asset inventory assessment. We have 2 ordinances here. The first one is the water AIA. The town of Princeton was awarded $150,000 from the state for the water AIA asset inventory assessment. The town board has already accepted these funds and gone into contract agreement with TRC to complete this project. This project has started recently. The project ordinance presented is to place the funds in the correct budget line so we can pay TRC as we are invoiced. And this is basic housekeeping. And we do need to vote on this. Is there any discussion?
We applied for the money. We were fortunate enough to get the grant, and this housekeeping matter, make the motion that we approve the capital project ordinance.
Second.
Is this for both of them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, that's it?
If you'll just state.
All right. Okay, so in that motion, we are doing both the water and the sewer. The sewer reads the same and is the same amount.
Correct.
Okay, so first and second, so have a second from Commissioner Robinson. All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, motion passes 4-0. Next on the agenda is the 23-24 audit presentation, at which time I'm going to let Michael Auditor,
Test, Austin, you here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we're good.
All right, good. So my name is Austin Eubanks, and I'm the audit manager at Thompson Price Scott Adams in our Wilmington office. We did have the pleasure of auditing the town of Princeton for the fiscal year end June 30th, 2024. I'm assuming you can see the screen with the audit presentation.
Yes.
So we're going to go straight through to some required communications. Our responsibilities fall under the generally accepted auditing standards, government auditing standards, OMB uniform guidance, and the State Single Audit Implementation Act. We were able to design and provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material error and in compliance with government regulations. We also were able to perform all our planned procedures and had complete access to both management and required information. There was a few significant deficiencies in internal control this year that I will discuss at the end of the presentation. There was no new adoption or changes in accounting policies that affected the town of Princeton this year. Management judgments and accounting estimates were deemed reasonable, as it should be. The financial statement disclosures were consistent, neutral, and clear. We did not have any significant audit adjustments or unrecorded differences. We did not have any disagreements with management, no outside consultation with other accountants, and no prior retention issues. We did not have any difficulties performing any of our audit procedures, and we did not find any irregularities or illegal acts. So jumping right into the numbers for the general fund, the total revenues and other financial sources, you collected $1,555,000. The total expenditures was $1,616,000, giving a net change of a negative $61,579. One of the metrics that LGC likes to utilize is the minimum undesignated fund balance. That's and for a town of your size, that'll put you at 34% of your expenditures, and that would have been right at $549,779. However, your unassigned fund balance was $632,989, and that puts you at 41.24% of your fund balance that's available for general fund expenditures, so above that 34% threshold. Your tax collection rate was very outstanding, 99.84%. So looking at your operating summary for the past 4 years, obviously you had some really good years, past few years. However, this year you did have that $61,000 operating loss. However, I think still on the right track. So looking at your top three revenues of the general fund, your ad valorem taxes, you collected $646,000, and that made up 43% of your total revenues. Your unrestricted intergovernmental, you collected $400,196, and that made up 27%. And that's your sales and use tax, franchise fees, all those type of taxes. Your sales and services, you collected $214,000 or 14%, and all the revenues combined was $244,494. So moving on to your top three expenditures by department, your public safety, you spent the majority of your money of $814,519. That made up 53% of your total expenditures for the general fund. Your general government spent $312,409. That made up 20%. Transportation department was $280,000, and that made up 18%. And other expenditures combined was $141,519. So moving on to your general fund analysis of fund balance. This is exactly what you want to see. You want to see that fund balance increasing each year. It did dip down a little bit due to that operating loss just from over the prior year. So it went from $912,000 down to $850,720. However, $632,989 is available, just being at the board's discretion, and $217,731 is assigned, restricted, or non-spendable. So again, looking at that metric, that's the fund balance available as percentage of general fund expenditures. And again, that minimum threshold for this current year for you was 34%, and you're well over that, but with the 41.24%. And that basically means if you was not collect any more revenues as of June 30th, 2024, you can still operate on a normal capacity with normal expenditures up to 5 months. So moving on from the general fund, you had the Golden Leaf Downtown Drainage Fund. There was no activity in that this year. They're still leaving that net position at $10,487. Community Building Project Fund, you collected total revenues of $78,450, total expenditures of $34,818, giving you a positive net change of $43,632, boosting that net position up to $435,754. Moving on to your economic development grant, you collected $315,000. It's a brand new grant, brand new grant fund. There was no expenditures this year, so you were still left with a net position of $315,000. Your street paving project fund, your total revenue collected $249,000. Total expenditures of $238,770, leaving you a net change of $10,230. The Beaver Dam Creek Cleanout Phase 1 project fund was total revenue $346,194. Total expenditures was $359,109, giving you a net change of a negative $12,915. The Phase 2 for the Beaver Dam Creek phase out was total revenues collected $42,035 with total expenditures of $58,079, giving you a negative net change of $16,044. So moving on to your non-major funds, total revenues on the financial sources was $3,821. Total expenditures of $5,746, giving you a net change of negative $1,925, bringing that net position to $20,835. Moving on to your proprietary funds, total operating revenues $870,063. Your operating expenditures was $932,436. However, depreciation, of course, non-cash item, was $163,744. That brings your operating loss to a negative $62,373. However, you did have some non-operating revenues, some capital contributions and grants of $1,595,815, bringing you a positive net change overall for your proprietary funds of $1,533,000, boosting your net position from $4.7 million to $6,284,000. So looking at your cash analysis for each fund, your general fund, you had $738,000 of unrestricted cash, $67,933 of restricted cash. Your Golden Leaf Downtown Drainage Fund, of course, this is all restricted of $10,487. Community Building Project Fund, restricted cash of $435,754. Your Economic Development Grant, $315,000 restricted. Street Paving Project, $10,230 restricted. Your Beaver Dam Creek Cleanout Phase 2, we had $1,143 of restricted funds. Non-major funds, $26,116 of unrestricted. Proprietary funds, you had $2.1 million of unrestricted and $108,277 of restricted cash. So I want to move on to those some significant deficiencies in internal controls. Again, this is the same one we've had ever since you received that investment money. So 2024-001 was investment of town donated funds. Because the town invested funds during investment that is not allowed by NC General Statute 159-33. This investment was requested by the donor. Of course, this is being reported 2 times a year to the LGC, so they're aware, we're well aware. This is something that's going to continue to happen as long as you keep those funds. The finance that was violated. And the finance officer bond may not be less than the greater of 50,000 or an amount equal to 10% of the unit's annually budgeted funds up to $1 million. So basically, if you add up all of your expenditures for all of your funds, that's a yearly budgeted fund. If you add all of them up and you take 10% of that, that's the minimum amount that you should be bonding for, up to $1 million. So you were not in compliance with that this year. I had to talk with Michael to go ahead and change that and go ahead and get bonded for what was already budgeted for the 24-25 fiscal year. There was a non-compliance with budget violation. The town is spending more for the general fund, Golden Leaf Downtown Drainage Fund, Community Building Project Fund, Street Paving Project Fund, the Princeton Community Day Fund, the Barefoot Endowment Fund, and the Water and Sewer Fund, and was appropriated for the annual budget ordinance. Just wanted to make sure that when you're getting close to the fiscal year end, it should be done on a monthly basis really, that you're looking at those budget versus actual numbers and ensuring that you have enough funds before those expenditures can be made. Again, there's something called an FPIC, which is a performance indicator of concern, and y'all did have one, exact same one from prior year. The water and sewer capital asset condition ratio. Last year, it was at 0.46, 0.43 last year, you're down to 0.41 now. So basically, is the majority of your water and sewer assets have been depreciated. So you only have a remaining life of 41% of those. And there's nothing against that, but the LGC wants to ensure that you're aware of it and you have some older assets that could be having some major repairs or possibly looking at replacing some vehicles or some sewer pipes and stuff. Make sure you're making preparations of your funds to ensure that you have enough funds to cover those type of major repairs. So again, you have 60 days from this presentation to cover that water asset condition ratio, the non-compliance with the budget violation, the finance officer bond, and the investment of donated funds. Again, just like prior year, write a letter to the LGC, tell them you are aware of these and what you plan to do to mitigate those going forward. Any questions, concerns?
Yes, sir. I want to go back, which one I want to? I want to go to the economy grant that you talked about that was 315, 315,000.
Okay.
And that is in an economic grant. Isn't that $315,000 the $315,000 that we got off of a grant from the county?
This grant? No, sir.
So the amounts are just the same.
Yeah, you're thinking the money we got from Larry Strickland.
Okay.
Yeah, same
Okay.
amounts, different funding.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
And I had a question about on page, let me hit this one first. On page 22 is, that I found an error, that we actually have 4 board members in instead of 3 on page 22. Under the reporting entity, that has us with just 3 board members instead of 4. And I have another question on page 28. This may not be for the auditor, but under general government that is saying that our expenditures that it exceeded the money that we had appropriated, and under general government of 82,201 on page 28.
I don't think we have it page 28. Is it 23, Austin, we're talking about?
Page
Well, I think
28.
he might regard talking about the actual financial statements.
Okay,
Page 20.
You got page 20.
23?
That's right, he's on page 28.
Oh, he's looking at the audit, page 28, I'm sorry.
Okay.
At the bottom, item C.
Yeah, item C, have you got that in front of you?
I have an excess of expenditure of appropriations on financial statements. I do have that pulled up.
Okay.
Is yours
So
out?
which one was it referring to?
Can you,
Uh,
he's gonna state it again.
26.
that I was looking at under general government, it states that we were 82,201 over in expenditure.
Tell them the tab that says the excess of expenditure of over appropriations.
It's done wrong.
Different numbers.
82,000?
It says excess of expenditures over appropriations. For the fiscal year end 6/30/23, the expenditures made, the city's general fund exceeded the authorized appropriation made by the governing board for the following departments. The general government was $82,201.
82,000. I'm not seeing
Yeah.
that exactly. So that's not the page 28 I have.
It's in the, have you got the audit?
I do it.
Okay, see if I can find what section it is. The section, yeah, at the bottom of it says 20.
Under stewardship, compliance and accountability.
Yeah, looks like section 2 maybe,
See,
stewardship, compliance, and accountability.
Okay. I think I have that. I'm showing the excess expenditures over appropriations for the police fund of $23,991, the Parks and Rec of $11,770, Community Building Project Fund $293,161, Street Paving Project $238,770, Princeton Community Day Fund $3,140, Barefoot Endowment Fund $2,606. The water and sewer capital outlay, $36,727, and your water and sewer debt service of $9,945.
He's got a different page over here.
Yeah.
Oh, do
No, I've got the same page as you
Oh,
have,
okay.
but what he's reading out is different.
You got 2023. He's got 2023. Should be 2024, right?
It's the 2023.
Yeah, it should be 2023, that's right. But a year ending 2024, right?
That's what mine says, year ending June 30th of 2023.
Year ended 2023.
Yeah, I mean, my son, the year end June 30, 2024.
Can you pull that up and share it with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have, right here.
Is yours 24?
So is this,
So a couple of these,
Oh,
funds,
man.
we
Wow.
weren't able to procure a budget for And I was telling Michael, going forward, that every single fund has to have a budget, no matter how big or how small. So yeah, so are you able to see it now?
Yes, yeah, we got it pulled up. Can you zoom it in a little bit?
Yeah, we'll do.
So let me ask you a quick question. This packet that we have, I don't know who else has the 2023.
I think all of y'all have the 2023.
Yeah.
So is this obsolete?
Is that
Yeah, it's void. Yeah. Well, the packet's good, just that audit is the wrong one. All right, you go ahead, Austin.
Well, so we might as well stop here
Yeah.
and we just do it at another meeting, because I mean, I think it's almost pointless to go over this whenever we obviously have to have the wrong one.
Yeah, especially when we can't see the actual numbers. I mean, seeing it there is fine, but being able to look over it, felt like we had the chance to come and look at these. I think that's gonna
You
count.
want to print your copy?
People have time to review it.
No.
Personal development. As such, I am requesting the following appointments for this year. Commissioner Robinson, will you be willing to take the role of street, sidewalk, and drainage commissioner?
I will.
Thank you. Do we need to vote on any of these, or is it? Okay.
So here's the point.
Commissioner Holmes, will you be willing to serve as the water and sewer commissioner?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Martin, you have served as police commissioner for several terms. Will you be willing to continue to serve as police commissioner?
Yes, sir, I got my eye on him, I got my eye on him.
Thank you, sir. And Commissioner Boyd, will you be willing to serve as finance commissioner for 2025?
Yes.
I believe this assignment will quickly get you familiar with the town's projects and
Probably
processes.
very sure.
All right, thank you for accepting these appointments for 2025. The role of Mayor Pro Tempore must also be assigned. When I first joined the board, I felt it was best to leave alone most of what was already in place. As such, Commissioner Rose retained the role of Mayor Pro Tempore. As a new assignment must be made, I consulted our charter, section 2.4, which states, in accordance with applicable state laws, the Board of Commissioners shall appoint one of its members to act as Mayor Pro Tempore to perform the duties of the mayor in the mayor's absence or disability. In the event of a vacancy in the office of mayor, the Mayor Pro Tempore shall perform the duties of the mayor until the vacancy is filled. The Mayor Pro Tempore, as such, shall have no fixed term of office, but shall serve in such capacity at the pleasure of the remaining members of the board. I can tell you that the role of mayor takes a significant amount of time. On average, I spend 10 to 15 hours each week working on town business. If I didn't work in Princeton and didn't have the scheduling flexibility that I have as a self-employed person, there's no way I'll be able to successfully meet the demands of this role. In my opinion, the Mayor Pro Tempore must be relatively like-minded and carry on the duties of mayor in my absence. Every person on this board is qualified to serve as mayor. However, based on the flexibility required, I'm asking Commissioner Holmes if you would be willing to serve as Mayor Pro Tempore. And I ask the board members if they will allow Commissioner Holmes to serve as Mayor Pro Tempore.
Yes.
Do we need a vote on this?
Yes.
Okay, so that is what I'm asking. Do I have a first and a second?
I'll first.
You, okay. I have a first. Do I have a second?
I can't say. I'm just looking at to see if I want to say. Yeah, I guess I'll second.
All right, I have a first, I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. Motion passes 4-0.
We need to,
Swear in.
swear in.
Okay. I'd like to thank each of you for your willingness to serve. I know it's a lot of time away from family, and work sometimes, to come down here and serve, and it's for basically a volunteer position. And each of you give of your time. I know it's a sacrifice, and I do appreciate each and every one of you for being willing to do that. And it's not easy, but thank you. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you.
I look forward to what we can accomplish this year. So, with that being said, now, what do we need to do?
You need to, swear in Michael Holmes. I've got the, you just, so,
Just do it right up here?
yep, and you can hold the
Got
Bible,
something for me to read?
and you can do that, and I have 2 forms for each to sign.
So we're gonna do it in segments, is that what we're gonna do?
I can't remember.
Well, you can read it all, and then he can say, I agree or I
Thank
do.
you.
Okay, okay. So I'll read both of these. All right. I, Mike Holmes, do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Mayor Pro Tem, so help me God.
I do. I will.
I, Michael Holmes, do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
I will.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I need you to
Sign this.
Go ahead. There's 2 copies that need to be signed.
All right, is there any other business? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
You got,
Yes.
you got,
Oh, that's right.
Tennessee.
I forgot Tennessee, sorry about that. Board of Adjustment appointee. In your packet, you have a Kayla T. Holmes, who is put in to work with the Board of Adjustment. She lives at 206 Eagle Crest Lane in Princeton. She works with Carolina Air Repair, and she is asked to be added to the Board of Adjustment. We do have that vacancy there, and I think all we have to do is vote on that, correct?
That's correct.
And didn't I see somewhere that we have already advertised it?
correct, yes, sir. That's the only application we've received.
Make the motion that, we, appoint, Ms. or Mrs. Holmes.
All right, we have a first, we have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes 4-0.
Are we gonna get out of here at 7:49?
I would like to offer a motion to adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, raise your right hand.
We gotta write this down.
That's a record. Bringing this thing. It's a good sign.
I think that's a record.
Yeah.
Should I expect this?
No.
No, because I can tell you already for the record. This was not correct.
Next month will be a long one, I imagine.
You know, I looked
I've
at
been
that
at this, I know better.
house.
Because that